We are back, and we are joined now by Cody Johnston of the wonderful YouTube channel, Some More News. Cody, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. Obviously a huge fan. Happy birthday also.
Thank you. Yeah, it's your channel. Everybody has been like messaging us saying you have to come on. We played a little bit of one of your videos the other day. Can I ask, like, how long does it take for you to put together 40-minute long, like, very well produced progressive YouTube? Like, I love the video essay format, but you churn out like a video essay format in way so quickly. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, it's it's rougher some weeks than others. We do try to plan ahead.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're saying, 40 minutes, an hour. It's pretty heavily researched, and so we have this, like we have a whole process from start to finish. Oftentimes we'll come up with stuff that we kind of know, like, it'll be relevant for a long time, and knowing that, okay, well, we filmed this, even though it was written a month ago, we can sort of plug in current events and keep it going. But a Ben Shapiro episode or whatever, that's months of just sort of like packing in as much as you possibly can. And it's also the year or so before where all these clips are coming out and he's saying whatever.
Right.
So it really does depend. Sometimes it's just like, oh, something happened this week. We need to just do something on that topic. And our head writer will just be like, no emails this week. I'm just doing this.
It's really well done, and you're funny in it, but also providing everybody with all of like the information that they need on that topic. You mentioned Ben Shapiro. You've done some deep dives over there into that crew. What the hell is going on at the Daily Wire?
Nothing good, it doesn't seem. It seems like they're falling apart. I mean, they're like all their people are being fired or leaving. I know Jeremy Boring is gone. Because they're all losing money, because if you pump a bunch of money in from a billionaire for ideological purposes, maybe the output needs to be bringing in enough to sustain yourself. I assume it's because they wanted to be Amazon Prime was the problem, right? They're doing a streaming service, and they're doing like some like King Arthur epic show, and they're trying to do like the non-woke Snow White. And if you pump money into that, and the product isn't very good, then you're not going to be making money from it. So it seems like they just wasted a lot of money on vanity projects and trying to be like the anti-woke Hollywood, whatever conservative Hollywood they wanted to be. And you can't do everything.
It also seems like that media, that old way of like, there was this, the internet and YouTube became a thing. Then creators started blowing up. And there were companies that were like, how can we monetize this? How can we create little mini companies that are about content creation? And the Daily Wire is one of them, but they had so much money backing it. But like, I'm even seeing this in sports media too, where it's just folks are more drawn towards just going to creators that they appreciate. And these independent creators with subscription models, whether it's Substack or Ghost or other ways that people are accessing that content, it feels like that is just more of the trend these days. And the Daily Wire guys are like, they're getting smacked by Candace Owens and even some of these other streamers, or Brett Cooper.
Right. Everyone that they had for a while and then pissed off for whatever reason, and then couldn't make it work. Yeah, you're building up these personalities, and that's, for better or worse, that's what people gravitate towards. And I'm sure people were like, well, Candace is saying this right thing, and now I'm going to go to her. Daily Wire lost me because they're not keeping up with whatever anti-Semitism is really big now or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think they just aren't, they like pumped all this money into a plan that wasn't going to work long term, it seemed. But they have the backing because their ideological project is the point, right? They're not really there to like get return on investment in like the normal way. It's just sort of like, if you put out propaganda for us, that helps us in our ideological project, as opposed to just doing good work or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's right. And it'll be fun to watch how that unfolds. Back to the real news and the politics of the day. So I want to play this old clip of Chuck Schumer from a month ago, a little under a month ago. This is around the time that he completely caved on the continuing resolution and decided to give up all of the Democrats' leverage.
Well,
because
what are you
of
gonna do? Work is hard. Nobody wants to work these days.
It'd be really bad if the government stopped working in a government shutdown. Oh, wait. The government already has stopped working because Elon Musk and the Doge groypers are slowly shutting everything down and making it non-functional and stealing all the data from our treasury. It's insane. And you also have to show, as we're seeing with Chris Van Hollen, you have to show strength. That's the only thing that these fascists know how to respond to. That's the only way that you can fight them politically. Schumer, but he's gonna fight. This is what he said.
He just needs time.
He needs time. Okay, so this was, maybe it's been like 3.5 weeks since he said this. Maybe he's gotten there.
Look, this is an extraordinary moment. It does require extraordinary action. If he defies the Supreme Court, then we are in uncharted territory that we haven't been in for a very long time. And our entire democracy, this whole beautiful enterprise of democracy that we've had for over 240 years, is at risk. And look, I believe that if Donald Trump should defy the courts, the public will rise up. Democrats will fight it in every single way. And I believe, autocrats only succeed, Kristen, if the public lets them. But
Keep going. Keep going.
What about the Senate? Okay.
Yeah.
But if the public is so succeed, Kristen, if the public lets them. But if the public is so angry and takes action, and certainly we Democrats will, it will trigger a mass movement from one end of the country to the other, something that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Hell yeah. I'm fired up.
Public.
Yeah. We're coming for you, whoever.
Oh, yeah. I just love the outsourcing of it. The public will rise up. Dude, Van Hollen just pantsed you. Just by you know how you get the public to show up? By showing fight yourself. And I think that's under the dictionary definition of leadership.
It's so embarrassing and pathetic to just let that happen and not address, because even to what your conversation a little earlier, you can't just be like, well, it's not popular, so we shouldn't do it, or it's not polling well, or you can't just put your finger to the wind and see what you should do if you don't have moral clarity and you're not trying to actually get a message out with some sort of communication to bolster public opinion or push back on it, or be like you're saying, it's leadership, it's communication is such a huge part of it. And if you're not pointing out why this is wrong or this is wrong or this is illegal, I know it's at this point it's like, but sir, that's illegal. It's a little everything they're doing is illegal now. So what's the point in saying it? But if you're not communicating that, then the people, they might do it without you, but you need to do your job, I guess, is the point. It's just very frustrating to see people in that actual leadership sort of defer to once the people get mad enough, once the polling says we should do something, we will absolutely do something. We promise.
But that's what democracy is supposed to be, which is supposed to be you're doing that for us, not us doing it for you. Matt, you wanted to say something, but
I just want to insert a quote from David Brooks recently.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God, I know.
Record, which he says, "It's time for a comprehensive national civic uprising. It's time for Americans and universities, law, business, nonprofits, and the scientific community." Now, I'll just say, David Brooks used to be a Marxist. If he was still a Marxist, he might spare an inclusion of workers in that uprising, but anyway, Americans and universities,
implied,
yeah, this is kind of a professional class uprising.
Put it up,
Americans and universities, law, business, nonprofits, the scientific community, and civil servants and beyond. Okay, to form one coordinated mass movement. Trump is about power. The only way he's going to be stopped is if he's confronted by some movement that possesses rival power.
Well, there you go.
I mean, David Brooks didn't think I'd ever say that, but good job to him.
I mean, this is radicalizing. This administration is causing people to. I saw to rethink some of their preconceived notions. I saw Bill Kristol say, when are we going to apologize to the abolish ICE people?
What?
The other day. Isn't that incredible?
I see that every day. It's sometimes couched in irony or whatever, but this sentiment of like, yeah, the resistance libs were right the whole time. This is what it is. A lot of people knew what was happening. It was accurate. The call was correct. The prediction was correct. And now they have this opportunity, the Trump administration, to just do it all. And I think people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know they were going to do all of that. And it is, it's one of those things that's like, it's very disheartening in a sense because the writing's been on the wall for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And it's really upsetting that things have to get bad for people to realize what's going on. But it does seem like that is what is happening.
Right.
Even on immigration issues, even on like all this stuff.
But abolish ICE was just when AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, was elected in 2018. This was the blaring most radical opinion that she had. Right? Can we put the crystal thing up just because it's amusing to me? Just to verify that I wasn't hallucinating. Bill Kristol, who is now at the Bulwark, so I think his politics have changed, but
absolutely,
it's like a never Trump outfit, right? Basically.
Right. But like these are the people, the same folks that were saying, no, it's the progressive left, saying things like abolish ICE are the problem within the party. He says, where does the abolish ICE movement go to get its apology? And this is important because ICE has been naturalized by the right. ICE was an outgrowth of 9/11 and the war on terror, as was the Department of Homeland Security. We can look back 25 years in the past to analyze how we've created a national security surveillance state in reaction to 9/11 and during the war on terror that is now being used to terrorize the people, our own citizens, our neighbors, other people in this country. And you have even some of the resistance liberals coming around to that point.
Yeah, it's quite something to see because this is all, like you're saying, 2018, that was the most radical thing AOC was saying. And it's something that, like, never Trumpers are so interesting because, like, you see this sort of very, very slow progression. You're sort of dragging them forward. These are all conversations that were being had in 2018. All the stuff that we're talking about today, 2017, 2018, 2019, the entire first term. And it's like slowly realizing why they're never Trump. In the first term, it was very much like, oh, he's boorish. He's like, oh, we don't like his personality. He's so like unpleasant and
uncouth,
we don't like him.
Right.
But now after like one term of him, you get some Biden and then this, it's like, oh, I get why I understand. Like his personality is actually linked to policy and it's linked to this political movement. And like you're saying, this path is very clear from, you can also point to like so many things about Reagan and then obviously the Bush era. And here we are. And it's just funny to see sort of like over the span of 10 years, all these guys go like, oh, right. I was wrong all along. This sucks. This sucks now. So good for them, I guess. Better late than never. They're
right.
Faster than Chuck Schumer, apparently.
Do you think that it helped because Biden got so unpopular? Like, I think that even though we obviously had major problems with Hillary Clinton, and it was tough for me to vote for her in the general election after that very brutal primary with Bernie Sanders. And, I did it because Trump was a threat. But we were kind of more in the minority, unfortunately, within the Democratic Party. She was still a very popular figure. Mm-hmm. I think Biden was so, like, people were so outraged by the cover up about his mental acuity, really. I think Democratic voters, they were angry that he put us all in this position again. And of course, with his support for the genocide in Gaza, polling hadn't been catching up yet, but the base was angry about that too. Mm-hmm. Although they now flip and they're more angry when Trump's in office, which is an annoying partisan thing, but it happens on both sides. Yeah. I wonder if that made it easier for people to all kind of realize, like, maybe we shouldn't just be default trusting somebody who's ever been in the same room as Obama or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like, I mean, Biden's ability is still, I think, unfolding, and people's mistrust there, and just sort of, yeah, you put all your eggs in this basket, and I don't know. I think that it's just that we have all this quick backlash to a backlash to a backlash to a backlash so much now. We're ping ponging all the time. It's so fast, every week, every month, every year, and people just forget so quickly about anything. I think also being able to be like, oh, look, Biden's so old and he's this, and you're pretending that he's the smartest, like sharpest guy in the room or whatever. I believe you. And so you're doing this, and then so you have this like, but we need some sort of guy who can finish a sentence. But in doing that, you forget about Trump. You forgot all about him. You see this even in a lot of Gen Z polling, some boomer polling about Trump's approval, where it's like, oh right, oh, he's terrible and obnoxious, and we don't want him around. But during the campaign, you don't really think about that. You think about what's in front of you, which is old as hell Biden stumbling through life, kind of. And so they swing over there, and now the reality sets in. I just wish people had stronger memory.
Object permanence. Yeah, like let's play this because we're kind of on the topic here. There's been, I guess it was announced this week that David Hogg, who is the new vice chair, one of the vice chairs of the Democratic Party, is launching an effort to primary Democrats who are incumbents, who Hogg basically calls either, asleep at the wheel, I think was the phrase that he used. And the group is called Leaders We Deserve. They're apparently going to be spending around $20 million in deep blue districts. So this is a bit of the Justice Democrats model, except with somebody who is associated with and a part of the DNC. So I want to wait. I'm encouraged by this announcement. I want to wait to see what the criteria is for an incumbent primary challenger before I laud it.
Right.
However, the fact that they understand that this is necessary is interesting and important. But not everybody does. Here's old James Carville, and I'm glad we're playing this today because if Sam was back to hear this, he might actually have an aneurysm. This is Carville's he has one mode. It's only protecting the worst incumbent, most geriatric Democrats ever. Although I guess he was on board the Biden dropout train, maybe the one-time broken clock situation. But this is his reaction to Hogg's initiative.
Well, maybe, as I said, maybe they need to split off from the Democratic Party and call themselves a socialist, I don't know, urbanist, central city.
But you know why they're doing it. They looked at MAGA, and they did what we see all the time when you don't have better minds and better ideas. This is why you were so transcendent in politics. Is that, and I always find it cheap when people say, "Oh, Jim Carville."
Okay, Carville. When was that? That was before I was even born. 1992. That's what they're referring to.
I mean, they're playing to their audience, I guess, right? Like,
Cuomo,
remember,
dude.
right? That's
yeah,
so
like
long.
yeah, we remember, but I don't. Yeah. I actually had to watch a documentary to remember it because I was born in 1994. Can we update like our Democratic political savants, please?
No, he's transcendent. That's why he gets to just sit on the couch in a t-shirt. Like, what's he doing, James? Like,
it's why you never see him out of his house or, a part of any real campaign. Transcendent pundit on, what's his new News Nation?
Yeah, I was gonna say, James, you're on TV, but I don't even know if that's true. I don't know what
right. What is News Nation? Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Cuomo, by the way, on News Nation. I used to work with him. He's the only person who likes to take their shirt off on the internet more than Jair Bolsonaro.
Not for medical reasons, in his case.
No. No, I want to keep hearing.
Transcended in politics is that, and I always find it so cheap when people say, "Oh, Jim Carville, oh yeah, it's the economy, stupid." No, that wasn't your genius. Your genius was,
centrism.
I'm not going to be what beats me. What you see with Bernie and AOC right now is MAGA playbook. MAGA playbook. Make the masses angry. Dave Hogg, that's MAGA playbook. Go after your own and have a purity test. But what beats you, you become that, you're not going to beat it.
Well, I don't think that most of the Democrats are that. And maybe we need to have a schism. Maybe we can form a governing coalition. You know, this happens every time in parliamentary things where you come in, you say, okay, you want to be part of our coalition. But when they spend all their time running against us, by the way, why don't somebody sue David Hogg? He's an officer of the Democratic National Committee. He is the vice chairman of the Democratic National Committee, and he's running against other Democrats. I would like to know, and you went to law school, does he have a fiduciary duty toward Democrats? If you work for News Nation, you can't promote seeing that. That's because you work for somebody else. You have a fiduciary duty to your employer, which anybody can understand.
You know, I think it's good to maybe stop at the fiduciary duty thing, because I have a point I want to raise about our sort of alligator friend there. This is from a website called Privacy International. It says Palantir's predictive policing program in New Orleans. This is from February 2018. Under a secret deal beginning in 2012, the data mining company Palantir provided software to a New Orleans Police Department program that used a variety of data such as ties to gang members, criminal histories, and social media to predict the likelihood that individuals would commit acts of violence or become victims. This partnership was extended 3 times through February 21st, 2018. Even city council members had no idea the arrangement existed, though Palantir has used its New Orleans work as a reference for multi-million-dollar contract with another agency. Here we go. Political commentator James Carville, a paid advisor to Palantir, says he is the driver of this project, which Palantir describes as philanthropy. Critics believe the program was kept secret because American Southerners value their privacy, and it would have inspired widespread outrage. So I love him talking about fiduciary responsibility.
I also love the idea that his immediate reflexive reaction to is let's sue this guy. Like this guy's saying we need to challenge these old corrupt Democrats who are paid off and not actually representing our interests. You know what makes sense? We should sue him for all he's worth, because they know this 20-something-year-old kid doesn't have their resources.
It's so
good for David Hogg.
Yeah, good for David Hogg. It's so bizarre. Like, also, isn't like just suing people you're like mad at or disagree with, isn't that MAGA stuff? Like,
yes.
Isn't that just doing exactly what you're talking about? What absurdity. Good for David Hogg. Also, like, Cuomo, that's really frustrating. I know he does this a lot, but like, it's just MAGA. It's just MAGA stuff. Being angry isn't MAGA stuff. Like, being upset about like a policy or the conditions of something, that's not like what MAGA is about. It's so childish to be like, well, the quality of MAGA is that they're mad, and if you're mad about something, that means that's what you
primarying,
are. Like,
or primarying Democrat, or like doing or primarying incumbents. They look at what Donald Trump and his wing of the party has done as a major problem for the for the establishment Republicans. But the base loves it, and the same thing would happen for our side. So it's not MAGA stuff. It's just like being responsive to what your voters want.
If you think about it, the Rainbow Coalition was proto-MAGA.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's just like, how do you view politics? What do you want people to do? Like, it's just, you're kind of comparing AOC to Marjorie Taylor Greene in a like this way that is so just, it's not even surface level. It's above surface level. It's like this atmospheric sort of vibe. Like, well, they went up against their party a little bit, therefore they're the same. But obviously people want stronger representation for what's going on now. The Republicans won.
Yeah.
They control all 3 branches of government. The Democrats, for all their other like occasional wins, they're losers. And you need to win in order to exercise power. And so you want people who can win and then do things like go to El Salvador. Like that's an action that many people in the party who have been in the party for many years would not do. And we're looking for people who have that have that dog in them for this current era, which clearly leadership is not capable of contending with.
Right.
Can I just inject something here? As someone who worked at CNN when Chris Cuomo was fired, the other big irony is, like, you could see his face sort of like perk up when Carvel was like, well, you're a lawyer. You can't come on News Nation, where he now works, and promote CNN. Famously, Chris Cuomo was fired for helping his brother secretly
Yes.
during his brother's political crisis, and then lying about it repeatedly on CNN, which is why he got fired.
Right.
And so it's just like, that's an extra layer of irony.
Thank
here.
you, Russ. Great point. And his brother is running as the exact candidate that those guys really want, which is basically a Republican light, corporate stooge representing AIPAC, representing all of those moneyed interests. And you know what? When they say we got to break off, I would love if those guys broke off. Please go actually go become a Republican. I would love you to become a Republican. Become a Republican, please.
Or like the business liberals, and take away that, like to take away. I mean, that's what kind of happened in the UK with like the Lib Dems split from Labour. But yeah, get out of there, but also draw more from the right and the capitalists to break up that party. Yeah.
They should bring their message to the suburban Republicans, and I really think that they would be better served in that coalition. Like the amount that we don't need James Carville to win elections cannot be overstated.
It's why is he even on that show? Like, what are we doing? Why are we having these? Nobody, like you said, like nobody knows who this person is either. Aside from that perfect 30-second clip just drenched in irony and conflicts and just like, wait, what? Wait a second.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who this guy is. And again, James, you're on TV. Put on a shirt. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't know what, I mean, he did the John Fetterman before Fetterman, the dressing down to make you look like the everyman, to distract from the fact that you're working with Palantir. I just think it's
maybe when you say when you do a media tour talking about how we should play dead as Doge is happening, maybe you should disclose that you are a Palantir asset. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Maybe not though. Maybe like
I don't wanna.
Yeah, just do what you want. Get away with it. Everybody's
doing that now. He's gonna sue
now.
you for even suggesting it.
Exactly.
The funniest part is we didn't play like the 30 seconds before this clip started. What they're talking about is how important it is to get money out of politics.
Oh my God.
That's the lead in to this exchange.
Yeah. Rough.
Rough. Every day. It's from all sides. It's so delightful to see just so many people just like, it's not even, I guess that's not really lying. It's very misleading. And again, all these sort of contradictions, but you can just say whatever. It doesn't matter anymore.
Nope. Before we let you go, wanted to have just one fun clip talking about this with you. People may remember, I think there's like a legendary old clip of Michael Brooks losing it laughing when he found out Bolsonaro got COVID, right?
Correct,
Matt?
yes, yeah.
Yes. So we're keeping the spirit alive because this man... He can't, it's like The Notebook. He can't quit the hospital. He's got to keep going back. And
incredible.
So does he have, so it's not Munchausen's by proxy is when you hurt your child to get attention.
Well, by proxy is it's of the child, right? So just Munchausen, I'm not a doctor, I'll just say this, but my understanding is if it was just Munchausen, it's of yourself.
Right. Here, Munchausen syndrome, also known as a fictitious disorder imposed on self, is a mental disorder where individuals fabricate or induce symptoms of illness or injury in themselves for attention or sympathy. That's totally unrelated to the clip we're about to show you of Jair Bolsonaro in the hospital again.
This is the music I jog to.
He's such a hero. Wow.
Who shared that and who put the music on it?
Jair Bolsonaro.
It's a hype up tape.
Himself.
Thank God.
Which is why I'm not a nationalist. I think, being nationalistic is silly, but I do think Brazil is the greatest country in the world because Can you imagine if instead of what we have now, Donald Trump was walking around with his shirt off and like if these were images
Oh my
of
God,
Donald
I
Trump,
know.
that's how joyful it is right now to be a Brazilian.
If only.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
It's so good. It's like I wish it was what's that talk show where the guests do dance down the hallway now?
The Jennifer Hudson show.
Like that's all I could think about during that clip. Just like getting
Yeah.
ready to do his little interview.
I mean, honestly, it's like when you watch the NBA playoffs and like LeBron or, whatever, Steph Curry is coming last out of the tunnel and it's like, oh my God, here he comes.
But it's like so good.
You may not like it, but this is what peak male performance looks like.
That's the one weird thing about fascism in 2025 as opposed to like 100 years ago, where they were trying to make it was like the Ubermensch to be like a poster of a guy looking like Superman or something like that. Now it's like JD Vance whining that people are mean to him on Twitter and Bolsonaro being sickly.
Right.
I was just gonna say like, yeah, it's sorry, go
no,
ahead.
it's even the tech bros like being little twerps and Elon Musk like just being the most awkward guy imaginable who without his wealth would not even
It can't stop whining. It's so it's very funny, but it is also like, but you're in power right now. Like just shut up and do the evil shit you want to do. It's only whining. They're all like, you're the richest man in the world and you complain about a tweet. Like just get it together. It is a very funny, pathetic version of fascism, which they all are.
Right.
But
it's just harder to hide in this media environment, maybe.
Exactly. Like JD spends, I don't know what his job is, but it seems to be just tweeting at random accounts and like getting into quote tweet arguments with people and obviously lying amidst it, but being like, I'm so tired of this emotional manipulation. And so I'm going to do it back to you or whatever. It's like,
it's the only way Trump lets him out of his cage because like he basically completely discarded him after the election. He was the bag man that brought the skeptical Peter Thiel on board, and he has no longer.
And then the internet made fun of his appearance, and so he had to do a week-long tour where he like shot a bunch of guns and called them freedom seeds to make himself feel better.
Freedom seeds.
Did it work? Did you see that?
No.
It's either a White House official tweet or a JD Vance official tweet, and it's him in like fatigues or whatever. He's shooting a gun, and it's like we're spreading freedom seeds. Is the
so
quote,
the bullets are freedom seeds? Here we go.
Seeds, yeah.
See, even this internet whiny little like just the vice president of the United States sending from freedom seeds downrange doesn't get more American than that.
It's so weird and gross. It's like this, and Vance does it the most. The White House obviously does it when they're with their honestly effed up deportation tweets with like the AI stuff and all that. But it's just this weird like twee like millennial way of like posting,
irony pilled online, nothing matters. This is why the Democrats' best weapon is sincerity and humanism. This has a shelf life. People don't want these whiny bitches all the time anymore. Like, come on here.
Because they also don't mean it. They don't believe in it. Like half the stuff they say. It's just it's just like they need to post something and they know the tone needs to be how it is. And
indignant.
So
it's grating.
Yeah.
Even like
really
the freedom seeds thing, I don't think even appeals to most gun or like I think it splits gun people. I think there's like certain type of like guy who buys a gun and like fantasizes about some sort of like zombie scenario or maybe a race war scenario that likes the thing freedom seeds. I think a lot of people are like, what are you talking about?
Right.
It's the weird thing, honestly. Like it's like every day they post something or say something and it's like, Walls was right. They're weird. It's very off-putting. And I think we're seeing so much of it, like obviously the actions of the administration are very appalling, but I think also the personality and the vibes are so weird and off that that's also off-putting for a lot of people who they think they're playing to. But ultimately it's like, what is this? You're just also, like whining at a cat turd online. Like, what are we doing?
It makes them look small, but also what is the freedom seeds thing supposed to mean in the context of an administration that is saying
Anti-war.
that they're
Anti-war, exactly.
So like
yeah.
the bullets are you're just doing the Bush neocon thing and spreading freedom around the world through violence. And speaking of Bush, that's what must have been like. I'm almost longing for the days of his level of like going away, retirement kind of thing, where like maybe there was some there's more manliness in him painting those paintings of dogs than there is in whatever the hell Bolsonaro is doing.
Yeah, like shyly confronting his demons, I guess, in the bath by himself. Like, okay, go do that. Yeah, it's also like, I mean, the Freedom Seed thing, I'm pretty sure was the same week that he went to Greenland for 3 hours and then did that speech where he was talking about how like, yeah, we're gonna like provide you with all the resources, we're gonna give you even more money. I think he said like we're $100 billion more for the military, and he said the phrase like, if we ever go to war, or when we send you to war, and then he would correct himself, like, if we ever have to send you to war. They're the war administration. They just have to have this sort of veneer of like, but we also hate that we have to. We don't want to do the war, but they're gonna make us do all these wars. It's very pathetic.
We're supposed to think they're bringing masculinity back, and this level of just bitching is, I mean, but it is the fascist thing. And to bring it back to Bolsonaro, both weak and strong. The opponents are both incredibly strong and also super weak. And we are both incredibly strong, but also super weak at the same time. It's this contradiction that only is reinforced by their very black and white, dogmatic.
Yeah, they have their categories. They have all their talking points. And they're like, we're gonna like, it's just like, yeah, we're gonna like destroy these soy boys who are after us. Oh no! They do that all the time, and they can have it both ways, I guess, because it works for some people. But it's just such an obvious play and back and forth.
Also, they are not given their whole like fixation on keeping women in the home. I wouldn't call them spreading freedom seeds across the world. Yeah, it's more of like a chattel seed situation. But yeah, gross. Cody Johnston, everybody's got to check out some more news. I mean, where are you guys at? Are you over 900,000 subscribers at this point?
A little over 900,000.
Let's get
check
that
us
to
out.
a million.
Yeah, please, check us out, subscribe. We do a weekly long form like written show, and then we have 2 podcasts beginning at the end of the week where we talk about all the things that too many things happen.
Well, you guys do amazing work over there. Some More News. We'll put a link to that in the description below, wherever people are listening to or watching this. Yes.
Can I just say, I have to say this, just in the context of all the Tim Pool of it all. Check out my band, and I'm not joking. Check out my band. We're called The Hot Shapes. We're online. I didn't name my band after my podcast, unlike some brilliant artists, but
yeah, you didn't? Okay, gotcha. Good.
I had to say it. Sorry.
Check out that band. I got to check it out too. Cody, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time today.
Love all the work you all do here, especially in this era. It's so laser focused and sharp, and you don't let all the stuff distract you. And I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that too. Thanks so much, Cody.
Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.